Welcome to the only place where real, raw, and vulnerable conversations happen with IFBB bikini pros to give you an inside look at their struggles, strategies, mindset, passions, and all of life beyond the stage. This podcast is made to inspire, motivate, and remind competitors and the average gym goer that even the most extreme lifestyles and elite athletes have their ups and downs. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm your host, Celeste Turk, and now it's time for the Confessions of a Bikini Pro podcast. Today's guest in the presentation series is the founder of OMG Bikinis. She's an NPC figure competitor, health enthusiast, and a mother to a beautiful teenage daughter. She was born and raised in Russia and moved to the United States in 2013. She fell in love with bodybuilding after her first competition in 2017. And now, of course, she's making suits for all of you. And I'm so excited to talk to her about this. So welcome to the show, Anna Golovyrina. How are you doing?
I'm doing so good. I'm so excited to be on your podcast. I'm a big fan of your work for like a few years now.
Yes.
And it's such a thrill, to be a part of it now.
Oh, well, thank you for always supporting me. Like, I've gotten to wear a lot of your posing suits and I love them. They are awesome and they definitely help me from ruining my competition suits. And I just appreciate you being so generous and supportive all these years. And now to have you on the show is just perfect.
Of course, I love it. And I love how they look on you. I love your progress as well.
Thank you. Yeah, you've definitely seen an evolution, and you've never been one to shy away from supporting me in improvement season as well, which I'm grateful for.
It is very important. Yeah.
Obviously you compete too. Are you in an improvement season? Are you in prep?
Oh, that's such a complicated story. Right now, it's so many things changed due to the pandemic.
Yeah.
Because I had to take a long break last year, and I was in the mood. I was actually in the beginning of my prep. Me and my coach, we set the date and we started prep, and then everything was shut down. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm not doing prep anymore. Mm-hmm. And then I didn't have a chance to go to the gym at all. I was just training at home. You remember how everything was. You cannot, unless you have some weights like dumbbells, barbells, whatever you have, in your home, in your house, or you can still exercise. So I couldn't. So I was just focusing on cardio and doing simple things I could do at home. And so I just, paused everything, and I decided to just push it back. And then I got busier and busier and busier. And now basically things look like I don't have much time to prep, because it takes such a tremendous amount of time to prep for competition, at least 2-3 hours daily for training and cardio and food prep and all these things. So I'm just focusing right now on my business. And I'm really excited about that. And as soon as I have a decent amount of time, when I feel comfortable, okay, I can do that, I can start prepping again, I will get back to that. But probably this time I'm going to try wellness category.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, because I'm so excited to see what's going on there. So many beautiful girls came out, and finally athletes who they were perfect for this category, and they finally got this chance to show themselves, because girls like me, for example, like with like larger bottom, like larger glutes, they were struggling. You don't really fit into bikini category, you don't really fit into figure. So that was somewhere, in the air, I guess. And finally they opened that category, and I'm so thrilled finally to try it. But now I just need to find some time to do that. So this was such a long answer to your simple question.
No, I appreciate you breaking that down, because it's like, that's real life, right? You have all these things that come up and different goals that you have too. And I'm excited whenever it ends up being, but I think it's so great that you are focusing in on your business too, and you recognize the time commitment that all these things require. And I really want to focus on your business, of course, and ask you what you would hope customers think when they finally get their OMG bikini in their hands.
Uh, if I was a customer and I received bikini from myself, and I probably something I would thought would be, oh wow, that's such a great combination of quality and price. This is exactly what is my strength, I assume. At least I'm trying to make it my strength to offer this combination of great quality and affordability, because this sport is very expensive, like all we all know. And I know sometimes girls try to cut corners, to save some money here and there, but there's not much you can save. But when it comes to choice of bikini, there's so many companies out there, with different price range, of course, and different quality. And when people order from me, this is something I would love them to think and realize, that they got great quality and they didn't overpay. That's
awesome.
I think, yeah.
I really like that mission of yours to set yourself apart in that way. And of course, your lines, you have a lot of different lines. You've got your posing suits, you got swimwear, but you also have, of course, your competition lines, and that includes the affordable line, the custom suits, and then the competition suit line. So can you tell us the difference between those options, and more specifically, maybe even the difference between the crystals you use on these options?
Yes, absolutely. So when it comes to competition bikinis, I think the main factor that affects the price is the stones, amount of stones. I mean, the density, how many stones, how close they put to each other, together on the bikini, and also the quality of the stones. So I offer two categories, affordable and super affordable. This is how I think about this. So the first category is preciosa stones. I think they're known as the second best after Swarovski. We all know Swarovski, and we all love them because they give such a great amount of shine, and they're just beautiful, and they're just best. Yes, I agree to that. But I also think they wouldn't let me, if I use Swarovski, they wouldn't let me to keep my price range in between 300 and 400. That's why I decided to stick to preciosa stones, which is the second best, and they also give tremendous amount of shine. And it's just mesmerizing to watch athletes being on stage and catching all these like lights, and it's just so much sparkle. It's so beautiful. And the other category is I use stones made here in the United States, and they are way more affordable. So you can still get a fully bedazzled suit. It will be like a good amount of stones. They close to each other, and it's going to cost you something between 1 and 200. So which is a good option for many competitors, because especially for those ones who tried themselves for the first time, because sometimes you don't know if you're going to like it, if you're going to be feeling good on stage. You don't want to invest 5, 6, 700s or something, to just try yourself.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's something I did personally for my first show, was just I got a plain bikini, not like off the rack or anything, but like it was a Ravish Sands bikini with no stones or anything. And I got it off of like, I want to say like Etsy or Poshmark. Instagram. I searched a hashtag and I found some girl selling it, and she still had it. And it was like, the reason I did that was exactly what you said. As a first time competitor, I wanted to make sure I even liked the sport before taking that next step with a suit, because you can love the lifestyle, but maybe you don't love stepping on stage.
Yes, exactly.
So I think it's great that you offer this, and you have a lot of options on your site that are super beautiful that people can choose from. And if someone is to come on your site, what can they consider, or maybe what should they be considering to make sure they're happy with their look before buying it?
I think first of all, any girl thinking of buying a suit should do some kind of research to see what's going to first of all, to see what's popular, because it affects decision-making process a lot. Once you get into the sport and you start watching competitions, you can definitely pay attention to the winners and what they wear. And you can basically go from that. You can narrow down your choices to a few colors. And I also, my personal trick, I also use like editing apps to play with the colors. Sometimes someone reaches out to me and asks what would look great, what my recommendation would be. And I just ask for a picture. Can you send me a picture of your in the bikini so I can try a few colors, and then give them a choice. So they just see themselves in different colors, different bikini colors, and I can, ask someone like friend or coach or anyone who would be helpful, to help them with the decision.
I think that's really cool. So is this for if someone were to contact you regarding a custom suit, you could be like, oh, try this editing platform, or, send me a picture, I'll put these different suits on. Like, how do you do that?
I usually ask for a picture. I do it myself. I'm pretty good with all these technology things. And I just love doing that, to give the options, because it's not a problem. Once you know the color, it's not a problem to come up with color of fabric, texture, with stones combinations. We just need to help each other to come to this decision. What comes first is always the color, and it's always the biggest question. Sometimes girls really, really know what they want. Okay, I want this and this. Can you give me some samples? I'm saying, of course, yes. Or sometimes they don't know, and probably they competed and tried different colors before. They don't want to repeat themselves. They want to try something new, or they just new to the sport and they don't know where to start. So I usually recommend, in this case, I usually recommend safe colors like blue and green. But everything depends on, person taste and hair color, skin color, things like that.
Yes, absolutely. All those things are important to consider. And you mentioned like crystal stone combination. What is a volcano competition bikini? Like, how does that look on stage, or compared to like a scatter bikini or a fully encrusted?
The one you found on the website, right?
Yeah, like what's a volcano one?
So this one comes with 3-color stone combination of red stone, orange, and also if I'm not mistaken, clear AB stone. So this combination gives like really bright and juicy red hint to this. I know orange sounds a little bit interesting in this situation, like why orange? But because it gives really like it makes it pop. And I see many beautiful examples of red bikinis on different athletes, but sometimes red is not red enough, or it's like too like bloody or something, sometimes you see something's wrong, and you understand that probably, okay, it was too much like of this color in this let's call it a recipe,
Yes.
or something. Yeah. And just something I try to avoid, because I try to also, of course, I look at other bikini companies and try to avoid their mistakes, and I try to come up with my own recipe. Well, the one you mentioned actually is one of the most popular bikinis, and there's also another one called Angelica, which is I decided to call after Angelica, the famous
Miss Bikini Olympia.
Yeah. Yes. And it became really popular because this combination also gives really, really deep blue. And I think many people loved it because of that.
Yeah, I think it's important to look at what's the suit going to look like on yourself? How's it going to look on stage? Like you said, get inspiration from other competitors. And can you tell us what a scatter bikini is? Like, what is that?
Um, it's basically how do I describe that? Which I have a few of those. Do you
Yeah,
remember which
maybe
one?
like what would it look like on stage if someone were to pick something like that?
Oh, everything depends on the color. Which bikini exactly you're talking about? It's just
Let me see. I'm going to pull it up.
yes.
There were a few. Let's see here. I thought it was interesting because I was like, what is a scatter compared to others? So give me 1 second. Okay, emerald green scatter competition bikini or amethyst scatter competition bikini.
Oh, it's related to the amount of the AB stones on this because they look really spread on the
Yeah.
bikini. Emerald, there's if you zoom in, you see there's like emerald green stones on that, but they blend and you don't see them much. And these AB stones, they look like they're scattered. So that's like they look like they spread, but actually under the lights, everything really shines and blends into a deep, deep green. And amethyst, same thing with amethyst. I use a little bit of amethyst and volcano stones on this bikini. And yeah, same kind of effect because they spread, they mix, and they don't look exactly like it's just one solid color.
Wow. I think it's so interesting. There's so much to consider. And obviously, you got to like doing this to want to do it. I didn't even know how to phrase the question, but why did you decide to start making suits?
I think my story repeats, many other girls' stories because I got really. Oh yeah, I just remembered something interesting. Yes, my first bikini I got from I probably shouldn't name anyone. So yes, I was happy with my bikini how that came out. But later, when I got into this business, I found out that I was ripped off. Unfortunately, yeah, that happens too. And
what does ripped off mean?
What I'm talking about is that I was told that stones I'm paying for is one quality, is one brand, but actually they were not. And I was able to figure this out later when I got into this thing, and I was like, no, they don't look like those stones because I have all the catalogs. Now I can compare, and now I can clearly see which stones are those. It's actually way easier than you might think, and I was really upset about that. But actually, I calmed myself down because I said, okay, I enjoyed that bikini. It was really pretty. It brought me an overall, so I basically shouldn't complain really. And I was just really upset about this way of running the business, and I told myself I will never do that to my customers because this is just not the way to do it. And this is why I put all this information openly on my website, so they know exactly what they're getting into. And this is just an example of respect. I think you just want to be honest with your customers.
Yes, absolutely. I think transparency goes a long way when you can tell people, okay, this is what you're paying for. This is why you're paying this much for it, because it's going to be XYZ stone, or because it's been made in this way. Like, people have more respect, I think, for companies, because then they're not getting any surprises or disappointment. And you went through that experience and that left a bad taste in your mouth, and now you're like, okay, I could celebrate that, but I also want to do better for the industry. And
Absolutely.
I was so curious, like, what, when you see other maybe suit makers or just competition suits in general, do you have any pet peeves? that you see happening in the competition or suit industry?
Not really. I admire some companies with, to be specific, I admire their creativity and
Yeah.
um, craftsmanship and all these designs. And I just understand that we all, separate businesses, and each of us we have our strengths and probably our weaknesses too. I know what my strengths and weaknesses. I'm not sure about other company, but also the question you asked me before about how I got into this business.
Yes.
I started answering and I got carried away with this.
Take us back.
Yes. So I competed the first time I competed, I purchased a suit, and then I just kept looking at my suit. I'm like, I can make something like that myself. So I started researching, and of course it took me a while to find out how do I do that, what are the best fabrics, what are the best stones and different supplies and different technologies. So eventually, after a few months, probably, yes, I tried to make my first one. First one didn't come out really good, so I had to practice. And once I felt like, okay, this looks something I would buy, I decided to open that, start a business, open my brand, register my brand and start selling them.
I love that. I like how you took an experience and you turned it into a mission for not just yourself, but other competitors as well. And you were able to learn the business and what was necessary for it. Is there any evolution in how you made suits, let's say from when you started versus how you make them now?
Oh yeah, definitely. I sometimes, when I have a box with my samples, something I made before, and sometimes I dig into that box and find something I made a while ago. I'm like, oh my God, I should, yeah, that's so good, because, I, practiced a lot, and I got enough practice before I started, treating that as a business.
Mhm.
And I was able to find good suppliers. I was able to find good combinations, and I see what works the best, so I can provide the best quality. And I'm really excited about my progress, and I keep improving because it just doesn't stop here. I love what I do now, but I'm also trying to get better and better every day. And I try to add new designs. I try to add new stone combinations, and also that new line I added the last year.
Mhm.
Swimwear also gets me really excited, because it's like endless possibilities there.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and they're really, really cute too. I love them. I was looking at them like, oh, as I was prepping for this, I see that you've expanded a lot, and I just think it's really cool that you've added all these different things to your arsenal. And are you a one-woman ship? Like, are you sewing all the bikinis? Like, are you doing all this fabric cutting? Like, what? Like, is this what you are doing just yourself?
Me and my assistant, yes, but for the most part, the most amount of job is done by me.
Wow. So, what does a normal day look like for you as a suit maker?
Well, I wake up to my orders, and I wake up really excited, first of all, because I love this work so much, and I'm really grateful for being able to do that. I endlessly love my customers, because they buy from me and they trust me, because I know how much work goes into this sport. It's like lives, it becomes your lifestyle. You wake up with these thoughts, and go to bed with this thoughts, and you dedicate all your life to
Mhm.
certain period of time, of course not all your life, but when you prep, yes, it takes all your time basically. And to be able to showcase yourself in the best way, it's just a normal amount of effort goes into that. And I'm happy to help women um, to showcase themselves from the best angle, because I'm there to provide good quality bikinis, and trying to be creative and offer new designs and try sometimes being really taking risk, sometimes trying new designs. I don't really know how they're going to look like, but we still do that, and they look good sometimes and become popular. Not all the time, but still, it's worth trying.
Yes.
So the day, yes, it looks like I wake up and I review what I have to do, and usually try to catch up on my social media. Struggle a little bit with that because it keeps going all day, and try to respond to my customers, update my website, everything, like every single picture I receive goes to the website, and I try to post them as often as I can, so customers can see what exactly they're getting into, what bikini is going to look like. And also working with influencers, and also of course the bikini making itself takes a lot of time, because once I start sit down and start making it, and of course it consumes all my time.
Yeah. Oh, wow. You sound very busy. I know how it is to run like a tight ship. You gotta make sure you're covering all your bases. And I think I love doing social media, and I always hate if I like get tagged in a story and I miss it by like a couple minutes, or when I say a couple minutes, I mean it's like expired past its 24 hours. I'm like, no,
But you're so good at this.
Well, thank you. I do my best. But sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad. And people are like, oh, well, not everyone responds, which I'm like, yeah, that's true. But sometimes, I don't know. Sometimes I think when you are so passionate about something, you just keep showing up for it every day, and you want to make sure you're doing your best. Like you said, you want to like make your customers happy. You love them so much. And it could be demanding.
But it's good. I really enjoy it. I want this to consume all my time, because when you do something you love, you don't count minutes.
Exactly. I'll literally like be up at night just working on stuff or thinking about it. Wake up in the morning, I'm thinking about like psychology or my clients or food relationship, and I'm like, I don't even care that this is what I'm thinking about, because I love it.
Yeah, you don't really notice. You just sit down, and then wow, a few hours later you're like, okay, but I got this done and I'm so happy. And I try to ship as soon as I can. Sometimes it takes longer than I want, but it's just because I get busy. And I just like you said, I feel bad if I miss something, and I still try to reply as soon as I can. Even for everyone who can hear me, if I ever reply late, I'm so sorry for that, but I try.
You're so cute. I love that. I can tell you're so passionate about this. I've known that you're so passionate about it. And I just think you brought up some really good points. One of those was taking risks. And I was curious maybe what risks you've taken, or trends you've tried to set, or maybe trends you've tried to predict or had to adjust to.
Risks. Those are small risks. I didn't take any big ones, except swimsuits I added the last year. But it doesn't look like risk to me anymore, because they actually sell, and I'm really happy to add more, because once I see something gets response, I get more and more excited, and I put more and more effort into it. And I think next year my lines will be even bigger, so I try to grow them. I'm not sure if I was able to set any trends. I don't set this as my goal, but I come up with designs I would be excited about myself. I actually wear my bikinis, and this is how I test them, and I give them to my friends to test. And I see what's popular, what my friends like, and if they ask for something, oh, can you make more of this? Can you add more of this? I'm like, yeah, sure, of course, let's do it. And I do it and just see how it goes.
That's awesome. Yeah, you've got a lot of really cute swimsuit options. Why did you decide to go that route? Like, what caused you to start doing that?
Again, everything happened due to pandemic, because last
Mm.
year, as you remember, it wasn't much competing going on. Many athletes, they had to postpone and they couldn't compete. I knew quite yeah, I know quite a few of athletes, purchasing suits from me. They couldn't compete because everything was rescheduled, and I was just having all this free time on my hands, and I decided to just get creative. And I thought, okay, if no one competes, but I still love doing, what I'm doing. And I started making swimwear, because we were still able to go to the beach, even though it
Mhm.
was very limited. It was very weird last year, and but still people went. They tried to be outside. So I added a few bikinis, and I just kept my eye on this, how it goes, and it actually went pretty well. So now I'm thinking also, it doesn't interfere. I still create new competition bikinis, like more add more posing suits and everything, and it just grows and grows.
Absolutely. And you have, I mean, these beautiful lines of suits. And I was curious if you could explain the difference between holographic fabrics and matte fabrics when it comes to designing a custom suit.
You're talking about competition bikini, right?
Yes.
They create different look on stage. I think holographic, from what I see from the pictures, this kind of fabric reflects more light, and it just gives more shine in general. And when you use matte fabric with no just stones on it, what happens is the fabric doesn't reflect too much light. It just absorbs it, but it brings up the stones.
Hmm.
They pop better. It's just an interesting effect I saw many times. I don't really think it's like very, very important, but for some reason, holographic fabrics are more popular for competition bikinis. Also, one good benefit of holographic fabric is that it's denser, it's thicker. So I think it just provides more support and more. It feels slightly different. It's like you feel more comfortable in it, probably.
Yeah. Ooh, I really appreciate you explaining that. I never thought about that or would have known the difference or how that would have felt as far as wearing it. Now, what do you think sets your company apart from other companies? Earlier you mentioned pricing. What else?
What else? Uh, the pricing is definitely one of my biggest points here, and
Mhm.
also I love to provide customer service.
Yeah.
Sometimes as a customer, I experience not really, like, you expect better, you expect more from the company. I'm not talking about bikini companies right now. I'm just talking about customer service in general,
Yeah.
like better response, more flexible policy, or things like that. And I try to be um, very responsive. As I still there's still policy, obviously, because every company has a policy, and I appreciate when my customers follow the policy, but I still try to be very flexible when it comes to it. And I really, really love my customers to stay satisfied and, of course, come back to me again, because I understand how many companies out there, and I really, really admire their work. And each company has pluses and minuses and different
Mhm.
things about them. And obviously, it's a lot of competition going on, but I love being in that competition, and I love providing good customer service. Every time someone reaches out and wants to exchange something, I don't mind at all. I just love my customers to stay happy.
Oh, I like that. I think that's so important to have that positive customer experience and customer service. And of course, part of that is making sure that they are happy with whatever suit that they get or making sure it looks good on them. And part of what goes into creating a suit is connectors and also the cut, like the shape of it, and also filling up the cups if you need to. So how can someone determine the best suit cut for their shape? Because I know you offer a few different bottoms.
This is actually easier than it seems, because if we talk about NPC and IFBB competitions here, they accept pro cut, Brazilian cut, and this is something I usually recommend to choose. Actually, all my suits, they all come with pro cut by default. It's just if it's not specified, it just comes out with pro cut, because I think this one shows your work you put into building your glutes the best way. And if someone is not really comfortable wearing pro cut because it's very explicit, it shows a lot, I recommend Brazilian because it covers a little bit more. I don't really usually recommend moderate cut. It might be good for posing suits because some girls, they practice at the gym and they don't want anyone to stare, so moderate cut helps a lot here. But if someone has this as a big question, like what cut to choose, I always recommend to reach out to a promoter, because they have this information. What show you're going to do, just reach out to people and ask what is acceptable for the show. Or if you don't want to do that, just take a look at the pictures. You'll see what girls wear, and it just tells a lot as well. It helps to choose. And for the also one very common misconception, girls think that covering the glutes, I'm talking about moderate cut, it's going to help them to hide bigger glutes if they have a little bit like heavier bottom, but it actually does the complete opposite. I have so many examples of that. I should probably make a post about this on my Instagram. And yes, I think it would be really helpful just to see the difference, because even I can model for that myself, because I have heavy bottom, so I can just show how it looks like with pro cut and moderate cut. And just pro cut, it's called pro for a reason. It just really shows everything, all the work you put, and present your glutes in the best way, versus the moderate cut or even Brazilian cut, because it covers more and it makes your glutes look heavier in general.
Wow, that's really good to know, because I think in like you said, there is that common misconception. And then also people who might be listening who aren't from the NPC, like if you are in a different league, you want to make sure you're wearing suit bottoms that are approved, like Anna said, and it may not be the same as the NPC. So definitely double check, and then be aware of what will look better on you and complement your shape best. And I wanted also to ask you just about your athletes, because I'm sure people are going to want me to ask this, but I saw on your website you're looking for inspiring athletes to sponsor. What exactly are you looking for in a athlete?
First of all, I want to mention and just say thank you to all the girls I worked with, including you actually, because you're one of the the most. Yes. You're like the sunshine, because every time we have a communication, it's just I don't know, you're so special in such a great way.
Thank you.
I just love it. And so I was able to collaborate with a few girls. Some of them were chosen in the athlete, during the athlete search, and some of them just reached out and asked me, are you looking for someone to collaborate with? And I'm like, yeah, sure, let's do it, let's give it a try. And sometimes when it goes well, we have a good chemistry, we have a good communication, and I see they enjoy my products. We just keep going, we don't even stop. I have a few girls with me for like 2 years already, and I just love working with them. And what I'm looking for is someone with a great attitude. That's really important for me, because I put some effort in this work, and I definitely want someone to enjoy it. I want someone to be happy and grateful for what I do. And I also love seeing my girls, achievements. A few girls turn pro, and I'm really excited about that. Like, my heart is full of, it's just full, knowing that they did it in my suits, and it's just amazing, because I'm like, yes, we did it together. Of course, I wasn't there helping, like watching their meals and like and things like that, but I just put my best creativity, my best skill in those bikinis they wore on stage, and they brought them, pro card. I'm just excited about that. So anyone basically who has this great attitude, who is passionate about bikinis. It doesn't have to be someone who competes, just it can be someone who just loves, enjoys, like being on the beach, like spending time having some like pool parties or something, or maybe even photo shoots, because I know athletes, they love doing those photo shoots, especially right after they competed, because they want to capture that beautiful form, the shape they in, because it's just, they deserve it. It's worth it, because you work so hard for it, and it has to be captured. So it's a great idea to have a photo shoot after. So, but you don't want to just do that in some boring outfit. Of course, you want some sexy or some fun bikini, or even your competition suit looks great. So someone who does that, and yeah, I would love to work with. I'm pretty open.
I love that. I can tell. And, you are also such a pleasure to work with. And I think it's amazing that you're offering this opportunity to people. And of course, you want them to love what you're doing, and you love what they're doing. And I think there's a lot of great opportunities out there. And it's nice when it feels really aligned. And I've been blessed to wear a lot of your posing suits. Thank you so much. You're actually the first and only posing suit. Yeah, they're amazing. And it was cool to receive that. And I think the thing that is also cool about your company is you make wellness suits too. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but do you also make figure suits?
I do. It's not my biggest category. It just somehow just happens, just happened that way, that my bikinis, for bikini and for wellness category are the biggest demand. And whenever someone needs a figure suit and reaches out to me, I make it. Of course, I can do that. It's just not something I really put too much time into. It just happened that way. And but I'm excited about wellness bikinis. And actually on my website, I added an option. You can upgrade any bikini design to wellness. It doesn't have to be a separate category. You just can go to my competition bikinis and click that little thing and just upgrade your suit to wellness. It's super easy. And I'm just thrilled to see those beautiful wellness girls. I have one girl I sponsor who turned pro this year. First time competitor. First year she competed and she turned pro. It meant to be.
Wow.
And I'm so yes.
In the NPC? Into the IFBB from the NPC?
Yes.
That's
first
awesome.
year she competed, and she's got it. It's just wonderful. It gets me even more and more excited to create more wellness suits.
That is so awesome. Yeah. And I think being that you're gonna step into wellness in the future, when you do have that time again, you'll be such a great representation of your suits. And I just think the wellness division is only just now getting started when it comes to suits. And it's awesome that you're really leading the way in that as well, and finding passion in creating suits for them.
Of course. It's just such a beautiful category of girls. They like goddesses just with
Yeah.
muscles.
Yeah, seriously.
I
Seriously.
just, yeah, I just get mesmerized, like looking at them, like, wow, that's so beautiful, because no one even expected anything like that. I've seen those Brazilian girls so many times, and I was, before everything started here, and I was wondering, like, why they have it there but we don't have it here. They should bring it here, and they finally did, and it just keeps growing and growing. And speaking of wellness suits, I'm really happy that here in the States, they don't, there's no certain rules for the wellness suits. I mean, I'm talking about the bra cups, because they
Mhm.
wear those like very heavy and massive bra, um, like everywhere except here, I think. And I'm kind of relieved to see that we don't do it here. It doesn't have to be, I mean, you can wear any kind of bra you want on your stage, I mean, on during your competition. It doesn't, it's not mandatory. That's what I'm trying to say. So you still can, you have a freedom to choose what kind of bra you want to wear, what kind of bottoms you want to wear. It still has to be V-shaped, obviously, but it's not that strict.
Yes. I think that's really cool that you get to and have a lot more creative freedom and liberty with it, where maybe even fit it even more to the individual.
Yeah.
I can tell you're excited about wellness. I think that's
Oh
cool. And
yes, I'm really so excited. It's just amazing, especially since I can try it myself. It's just
yes.
new opportunity.
Yes, exactly. And see like what feels good and what looks really good and good on stage. I've always been fascinated by the tops because they are so different from bikini. They are a lot
Yes,
thicker. I think they're gorgeous. So does that require like wiring, or is that like how is that different from a bikini top?
it is. Yeah, it does require completely different technology to produce them. To I mean, manufacture them, and yeah, it's a molded, I mean, it can be done in 3 different ways. It can be done like a simple triangle top, it can be done with wiring, or just a molded cup. And I think it's up to every individual competitor what they want to use. And also, one little thing, if you have smaller breast, I would suggest to get a molded cup, because it just gives more volume, obviously. Or if it's not if it's not an issue, if it's not a problem, any kind of top is fine, as long as you feel comfortable, as long as it doesn't uh, you know bother you or something, because some of them, they look so tight. It's like girls look like they have troubles breathing or something.
Yes, yes. It because I mean, like any bra, sometimes you're like, what
Yes,
the heck
pretty.
is
Yes,
going on?
exactly. We're on the same page here.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't wear those things, but I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
I think that's so cool. I love what you're doing, Anna, and I appreciate you sharing a lot of your insights with us, especially with regards to picking the suit, the different types of crystal layouts, the different types of options for people on your site, and having an affordable choice for competitors and one that still looks really beautiful on stage.
Yes, that's really, I'm really grateful to be able to share, because I know for people who do not know about my company, they might see my website, and it just seems brings up a lot of questions, like why this is like that, why this is like this. And if they can get more information about this, it's just really awesome. So it will be really helpful for, I hope I was able to help, to
Absolutely.
clear some moments up, because especially for first time competitors, they might be in the woods, because when I started competing, I had to scramble for all the information, because it was very, like, almost none.
Mhm.
You just struggle to find out, like, okay, what I'm doing now, what am I supposed to get, okay, and all these time frames, all these um, things you have to buy and have them in advance. Do you need a backup suit? Do you need this? Do you need that? Do you need a bikini buy? Things like that, you know. And I also think of adding more content like that, you know, to my website, so girls can get better picture of what they exactly need for the competition. And even though it's a lot of information out there already, even some girls I know and I sponsor, they make posts about that, you know, so they try to describe, okay, you need this, this, and this for the competition. But still, sometimes when you need this information, you cannot find it. And if it's
Right.
Yeah, it just sometimes you need it like now.
Exactly. And you need that information. You just want to be able to ask someone who gets it and then trust that, you know, everything's going to be taken care of.
Yeah, so true.
Is there anything I didn't ask you that you wish that I had asked you?
Oh, I think you asked me everything and even more than I expected. I hope I was able to give informative and good answers. You know, I'm also, this is my Russian thing, actually. I also being very honest and straightforward about things.
Yes.
And I hope it didn't, it's not going to bother anyone, because I like things, you know, to put things the way they are without like sugarcoating this. And if I was able to help someone, I'm super happy about that. If I wasn't, I'll try to get better.
You were not, I didn't, everything you said, I'm like, that is so nice. That is such a good perspective. Like when you were saying, even with the pet peeves question, you're like, everyone's got their strengths and weaknesses. Like you have been straightforward in a really beautiful way. And I appreciate that. I also think others will appreciate that you're straightforward, especially when it comes to making sure that then they're getting the best when they come to you. So I appreciate that about you. And I'd love if you could share not just how people can, of course, find your suits, but also connect with you specifically. So let's start with your suit website. And then if you could share maybe your Instagrams and all that jazz.
Oh, my website is omg-bikinis.com. Goes just like that. My Instagram sounds slightly different. It's OMG Custom Bikinis. And I also have a Facebook page, but it's basically a repost of my Instagram. So I usually post everything on Instagram, and that's the easiest way to find me and connect with me. I always reply to DMs. I do not take any orders from through DMs, but I usually readdress my customers to the website because everything is set up for that. And yeah, I'm on my phone every day, and I respond to every single text message and email as soon as I can. So it's very easy to connect with me.
Awesome. I'll put all of that in the show notes page, and you guys can find that always on celestial.fit/podcast. If you're listening to this when it comes out, it'll be at the very top of the page. If you're listening in the future, just scroll down to the category section and either click on presentation series or just click on Anna's name. So it'll be towards the top, and you'll be able to find it and listen there. And if you guys have any follow-up questions, you know, Anna's very open and willing to help. And I would hope that you guys tag us as you listen with any takeaways that you had, or maybe realizations or things that you're going to consider for your next show. I truly appreciate all of you tuning in for this series and just tuning in today, always, and sharing it, or telling us how it is, or rating it. It goes a long way for the podcast, and I really appreciate it. And Anna, I appreciate you coming on and all that you're doing.
Oh my God, I'm so grateful for this. I'm talking and smiling all this time because I'm just so excited to, you know, to finally connect with you and be a part of your podcast. I'm so in love with your work. You give such a, oh my God, you're just amazing. And everything you do for the competitors, I tried to read every, because they're so informative. There's so much information, so much knowledge and everything in your post. You put so much into that, and I just admire that. It's
Thank you.
I'm endlessly grateful, you know, to know you, to find you, to, you know, grateful for you wearing my bikinis and everything. Just thank you so much for even thinking about me when you know, thought about this.
Of course, it was my pleasure, and
Yeah,
that means
yeah.
so much to me. Seriously, now I'm smiling too. I've been smiling a lot. That really made my cheeks go up. Thank you so much for everything. I really appreciate you, and I hope that other people got a lot of value out of this. I have no doubt that they did. With that said, I hope everybody has an amazing rest of your day, night, or morning, wherever you are in the world while you're listening to this episode